All right, so we wanted to get into some audio we have from ESPN. This is from Ryan Clark, and it has to do with Brandon Aiyuk and his contract holdout and his situation with the 49ers, and the fact that he went into a production meeting with somebody that we know very well that is a high-profile athlete here in Washington, D.C. Let's go to the audio. This is Ryan Clark.
They're actually meeting with the San Francisco 49ers today. He and his representation, Ryan Williams of Athletes First, and Brandon Aiyuk told us that he wanted to set this meeting up himself. And when he was sitting with the pivot, he said that he's taking these negotiations personal, that the way that they have negotiated with him, the way that they have told him why he's worth what he's worth, it has touched him. It has affected him. He says he wants to be in San Francisco first, but is comfortable playing elsewhere if that's something that the San Francisco 49ers are willing to do via trade. And I will tell you this, when he sat with us, he did not walk into the room alone. First, it was Brandon Aiyuk. Second, it was Jayden Daniels. I'm not a tea leaf reader, but the way that sounds is that Brandon Aiyuk wouldn't mind playing in Washington.
Well, there's no doubt he wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so Jayden Daniels goes into, I guess, the production meeting with ESPN alongside his guy, Brandon Aiyuk.
They're BFFs. It's well established.
Tight.
Super tight guys. They're like brothers. All right, so I get that. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews with like San Francisco guys, and it seems to be the consensus that this is going to get done. This is just like he's even acknowledged. He's like in his feelings a little bit. Negotiations can be hard. I know we've had negotiations before where you get a little pissed off.
Sure.
Gets a little personal. And maybe he's trying to push for other opportunities if he doesn't get the offer he likes. But I've seen it been reported that at the end of the day, he wants to stay with the Niners. They expect that he'll stay with the Niners. It makes no sense for them to get rid of him.
But didn't he claim that he said that? Didn't he claim that they said they don't want him anymore?
I mean, he said that. I saw him say that in the thing.
Right.
But
who knows?
I think that's just him interpreting the offer.
I guarantee
They drafted a receiver.
They drafted two.
And supposedly they're super high on, is it Pearsall?
Yeah,
Ricky Pearsall,
out of Florida.
Super high on him. They have to pay Debo. Maybe he's expendable in some ways.
Well, there's no way the Niners said, we don't want you. That's
correct.
I won't believe that for 2 seconds.
Maybe they could say, we don't want you at that price.
Who knows what was said?
Yeah,
but there's no way they said, no, we don't want you.
And their leverage is,
teams don't do that.
The leverage is, well, we drafted Pearsall relatively high. We spent some high draft capital on him.
Yeah.
And if we feel like he gives us a close approximation of what you give us at a much lower salary, they may be willing to entertain trade talks.
It's possible, but Keim interviewed one of their beat guys, right? I think he's the ESPN guy for them, or maybe he's the athletic guy. And he said, first of all, kind of the same thing, I guess, maybe happened with Debo. When Debo was getting his deal, he was very frustrated.
Yeah, and he was talking about going
He was
other
talking
places.
about going. It's kind of like the same playbook.
Right, and then they get a deal done.
And then the other fact that I thought was very interesting was that he said, when Kyle played in college, and I don't think Kyle was much of a player, but he was at Duke, and then he transferred to Texas, right?
He was a
receiver. He said, and I didn't know this when he was here, but that Kyle really considers himself a wide receiver and like a wide receiver guru. And he said he is so demanding of his receivers. And it took him, I don't know, how long has Aiyuk been there? Like 3-4 years?
It's going into year 4.
It took him like
5.
2 good years to get Aiyuk to do exactly what he wants.
Right.
Like he wants the footwork exactly right, the breaks exactly right, and that he said, knowing Kyle, he's not going to want to start all over with another receiver, and because it takes him 2 years to trust you that you're going to run the routes exactly how he wants you to run them.
Well, he's going to have to do that with the rookies they drafted.
But he doesn't have to play them right away. He can break them in
No, you're
slowly
right.
but surely.
Yeah.
And
look,
they're trying to win.
They're trying to win a Super Bowl. Aiyuk but he's a huge part of their offense. But again, we talked about it last week, JP, when you weren't here. They already have one of the highest payrolls in the league, and they've got Brock Purdy, who's making, I don't know, less than $1 million right now. But if they decide they want to keep Purdy, they got to give him, $270 million. I mean, that's what quarterbacks are getting. So they've got other guys they've got to look at and try and decide if they want to sign long term. So it's just part of the business, and I believe it'll get done too. But obviously, Aiyuk and JD are friends.
So Ayuk's in the last year of his rookie deal. He gets $14.1 million fully guaranteed, and we've seen all these receivers getting extended this offseason. Guys like A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Waddle, Devontae Smith. Like, if the numbers jive, he's going to sign back there in San Francisco. It sounds like that's where he wants to be, according to reports. Like, if he gets a Waddle deal, I think he puts his name on the dotted line. 3 years, $84 million.
Sure.
Like, you think he's not going to sign that deal?
Get $25 million a year.
Right.
I don't know.
More
Stephen
than
A. Smith just turned down $90 million.
He'll get more.
He could get more, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would think if he gets a Waddle type, or I'm sorry, I like Brandon Aiyuk, but he's not on Justin Jefferson's level. He's not on Amon-Ra St. Brown's level at this point.
He's not on CD Lamb's
But he's going to
level.
get that next tier below type of money, which is great money.
No, like you said,
$25 million per year.
it's like if Waddle's going to get $3 and almost $90 million, that's probably what he gets.
That's
So
probably what he's due.
What did he turn down?
I don't know what his act. I don't think it's come out what he's been offered.
I don't think there was an official offer out there.
There hasn't been?
I don't know if it was made public.
I'm sure there's been an offer made between the parties, but I don't think I've
there was
seen
an offer
numbers.
that he turned down.
I haven't seen that.
I thought maybe I heard it on one of the pods that it was in the 24-25 million a year range. And what did you say Jefferson's making? Like 33 or something?
Jefferson just re-upped. His AAV is now $35 million with the new deal.
The guy that
all right, so you are correct. It looks like they offered him
25 million.
26.
26, yeah.
Yeah.
So my understanding is the guy that follows this out in San Francisco, he thinks it's going to eventually settle in like at around 28. He'll squeeze out a couple more.
That would put him in the Waddle and Devontae Adams level of contracts.
Right.
Because those guys make 28 or 28.2 million.
Right.
Like right now.
That was a reported offer, so who knows how legitimate it was and how much was guaranteed.
Well, makes sense.
Yeah, probably right.
He says that the other thing that they'll do is that they'll front load it, right? So like the first 3 years will be super guaranteed. That last year will be almost like a balloon thing, so that the agent can say he got him $33 million a year, but really what it is $28 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
For the first 3 years.
But they all look at the most recent offer or most recent deal at that position. And is St. Brown the last guy to sign?
St. Brown, he has an AAV right at $30 million now.
Yeah, so you guys probably go, all right, we want to be in that range.
Right.
So
for sure.
Maybe they meet in the middle.
For sure, but I don't think he's asking for Jefferson money, but he wants that next level, which I think is about 30.
It's about 30 million.
Like right now, they would be paying him Cooper Kupp money.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is pretty, like when he's at the top of his game, when he's not banged up, he's like a top 3 or 4 receiver in the game. Right. But I'm sure
it's basically double.
He
wants double what he was making this year.
Wants to cash in.
But do you want Washington making a play? If they indeed supposedly contacted Washington about trading Aiyuk here.
Of course. Now, I hear guys say, well, I don't want to spend the resources on a receiver, especially at this point. I get that, and I think that's a fair point. But if you're asking me, EB the fan, would I want Brandon
Load him
Aiyuk?
up for Jayden.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Give me all the weapons we can have. I want to actually score points.
Well, he'd be the number 1. McLaurin could be a number 2.
Yep.
Well,
and
you
Dotson
can call him
develops
whatever
number
you want.
3.
1A, 1B.
Yep.
Who cares? And I don't even think McLaurin would care.
I don't think so.
If it just
Not
all
help
would just
them win
make
games.
it would just make everybody else get open easier.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Who are you going to double? But
I don't think
might
that's
be too early in the process. And I think they want to build through the draft. I don't think they're into just like signing the most big name. I just think that is not a thing.
Yeah, do they want to make a trade and give up a couple picks or more?
I don't think so.
And then offer Aiyuk.
It's not like they're a player away.
Yeah.
They're like a lot of players away.
Yeah, so
I don't even have anybody in the top 100.
Yeah, it's true. According to
where
Gold
was
PP.
Where was Aiyuk in that, by the way?
I'd have to go back and look at the list. I think
I can't
remember.
top 50, top 60
he was in it.
maybe?
He was in there.
I can't remember exactly.